Hey all, hope you're doing well. So, if you clicked on the video, you probably saw the thumbnail, saw me wearing the aluminum foil hat, probably wondering why. And I just wanted to give you guys a little insight into NEC changes and the why behind it, and understand that you don't need an aluminum foil hat to figure it out. So, we're going to walk through that a little bit today, but I want to just jump into it and talk a little bit first about change. So, I have a family of six, my wife and I, and our four kids, and we can rarely agree on where we're going to go to dinner, let alone when you expand that out to all the people that use the NEC and change and if they agree on it and how that works. So we're probably never going to come to a consensus on a change being, necessary or helpful or things of that nature. But still, at the same time, if we can understand the why behind the change or why the code making panel decided to make that change, it might help us to at least better understand perspective, maybe give us a different perspective than our own. Maybe we don't do that kind of work necessarily, but others that do would be positively impacted by it. So I think it's just important to look at change as a whole and how that comes about and be a little more maybe open-minded about it. But understanding the why behind the change might help you to do so. So I want to jump into that. And first, before we go into the change itself, I want to go into the NFPA standards development process, just so you have a little background. I'm not going to take a deep dive here, but I want you to understand how this works. And this works the same for all our codes and standards. I know we're talking about the NEC here today, but every code and standard we have goes through this process. So if we scroll down a little bit, and getting to this page, I went to nfpa.org/process. So that's a nice little shortcut to get to it if you want to go and explore it more. But in the process, and we're going to look at this graph over to the right-hand side, and let me move it down just a little bit because I think my video might be blocking it. So with this, we have the different stages that are here. So there's four different, essentially, steps in the process. But the first two are the ones that are important that we're going to look at for these NEC changes today. So initially, the document opens. So the 2026 NEC was issued last fall, and within a little bit of time after that, we already have public input stage open for the 2029 NEC. There's a lot of work that goes into this 3-year cycle. So we open it so it's open for people to go in and start making their public inputs. So we're at the public input stage right now for the 2029 NEC, which is the beginning here. There's a closing date for that where it has to end. And then there's a first draft meeting where all the code making panels, and there's 18 for the NEC, meet in the areas that they have the provisions over for the NEC. They look at those specific articles or sections that they get to take a look at in any public input that was submitted for that. And from that, they create the first draft, and the first draft is posted. So we're going to look at the first draft of the 2026 NEC shortly. Once that first draft is posted, then it will open for public comment. The public comment stage, you can't give any new input, but you can comment on the inputs that have been put in there. So anybody can go in again and make comments on those public inputs that were in there or on the first draft as it sits and discuss how they want that first draft to be changed, essentially, or what they don't like or do like about that. So then we get to the second draft meeting. Again, the code making panels all meet, consider those comments. And then from that, we come out with a second draft report, which typically ends up being pretty close to what the final document will look like. But there's a couple more stages we can go through where there could be some change. Not going to dig deep into those today. But I do want to go to the next stage. And you can see this is by going to nfpa.org/70. And you can do that for any of our codes and standards. You just change the number out after the /. But this is for the NEC specific as NFPA 70. And if we scroll down on this page, we see current and prior editions. Well, the current edition is listed as 2026. Now, I understand your area might not be using the 2026 yet, but it is available. So at some point they could start enforcing that because it has been issued by our Standards Council. So we want to know those changes that are going to be coming in the 2026 as we transition to it. So with that, we're in the 2026 edition because that's the most current edition based on what has been issued. And if we scroll down, you see a drop down here. So if you want to go back to, say you're on the 2023 NEC. If you want to go back, you can grab the 2023 NEC. It will switch on this page, and now you're looking at that, and you can look at the first draft and second draft of that we're going to look at for the 2026 NEC. So know that you can go back and kind of find these changes in what I'm about to show you in any edition of the NEC that you're likely working in. So if we scroll down, we've got some tentative interim amendments that have already been put in. But if we keep scrolling down a little further, we get to this area that's got the first draft. So if we click on the first draft, it's going to open a new page for it. You have to have an NFPA account, which is free to be able to log in. So I'm going to log into mine. And this opens what we call Terra. So this is a program we use on the back end to manage all the code development. With that, I'm going to jump into 110.16 because I did a video on this a few weeks back, which is the changes to the Arc Flash labels. And I want to show you what this looks like. So essentially what they did was they started with the 2023 NEC text, and everything you see changed here is changing that text to what the committee did when they created their first revision for the 2026 NEC. So you can see, things have been added that are underlined, things have been stricken that are stricken through. There's some new list items that are here. So, and again, if you want to know more about this specific change, you can go back and watch that video that I did a few weeks back. But this one, I just want to go into why the change was there so you can see it. This first revision here that's listed, if we click on that, it will give us an overview of why that change was made. I'm going to close that out one time. I think I got a little lag in my computer here. Okay, so we've got this up now. So we can look at this. Now here's, again, what you were just seeing on the previous page, all those changes that were made to the 2023 text. This is what's being put together as a first revision and went into the first draft by the code making panel. In this case, it is code making panel 1 that manages that. You can see that down here where it says committee NEC P for panel 1. With this, every time a committee creates a change, they have to put a statement behind it. So it says with this, the revision to the title and reorganization of 110.16 will clarify the marking requirements of electrical equipment on the hazards of arc flash. So we can see we've had these list items and things added up here. That's the intent, is to better clarify what needs to be on that label for dealing with the arc flash hazard. And then the expansion to all service and feeder supplied equipment better correlates with recognizable industry practices. Okay, so with those recognizable industry practices, we had a reference previously to NFPA 70E, but and it's still there in informational note 2, we can see up here, but we're getting specific now. We've got those list items that says exactly what it needs to do. So this is their statement on why they think this change is made. Now, there are public inputs down here associated with it that you can dig deeper into. So if we want to click on one of those, here's one that gives some suggested changes. Now, these are what they were specifically in their public input suggesting the change to be, and their reason behind that, their substantiation behind that. So there's 4 different ones that the committee looked at for this specific section. And with that specific section, we came back and actually I closed out one of those there. That's too much. Okay. So this is basically considering all those public inputs. This is what the committee felt needed to be changed about it. And that's what went into the first draft. So that's what it looked like. Now, if we go back to our previous page, so we were on that nfpa.org/70 page again. Now we can jump down to the second draft, because again, keep in mind that the initial changes are made during the first draft, and then you have that comment period where the public can comment on it and suggest additional changes or modifications to what's being proposed. And then there is a second draft that's generated. So with this, here's the cleaned up language. So now what this is the starting point is the first draft language. So this is no longer the 2023 NEC text. This is the 2026 NEC first draft language. So with that, we now have a little bit cleaner look to it, but we're also getting some things that changed based on second revision to this section. So it looks like there were 7 total public comments that were put in on this. Again, you can click on those and read what people had to say about it. All, again, taken into consideration by the committee. They've added the phrase to comply with, and it replaces meets the requirement in to align with the NEC style manual. So a lot of stuff is done around that to stay aligned with the style manual. Revisions provide examples of activities when arc flash marking is required. So again, these are just examples. These lists up here are not all-inclusive as to when that needs to be there. And then the timestamp requirement was revised to reflect the arc flash risk assessment completion date. So this is kind of a big one because previously you can see it was just the date the label was applied. Now it's saying they want to know specifically the date when the assessment was completed, which is important because if we just had the date that the label was applied, who cares when somebody walked up to the equipment and put a sticker on it? We really want to know the root of when this arc flash analysis was determined, and we can actually look at that, and maybe we're looking at as-built drawings. Maybe we know there's something that happened somewhere in the electrical system. Maybe a transformer was changed out after that date where we go, oh, hang on a second, we need to go back and look at that labeling, and maybe recalculate that to make sure everything's still accurate. So, this is kind of the gist of what we go through here, in finding the why behind the change. Now, again, is the why, what's there? Do you read it and say, oh yeah, I totally get it? Maybe not. Maybe you still have an issue with the change, and that's fine too. We're never all going to agree on everything, but having a better understanding, going in and finding, the whys behind it is important. And we do this a lot. I'm an electrician too. I always want to know the why. So why did the committee, make this change? I don't quite get it just reading it. What was the intent behind it? So I can go in and dig in. What is their committee statement as to the why? Dig into those public inputs or public comments and look at, how maybe people's thoughts might have, given the committee some insight in what they're doing or what the change they're making and why it's needed. So just a good way to look at this as we navigate through these 2026 NEC changes. I wanted to get this video in front of you, so as I kind of give you some more changes in the 2026 NEC, you have the ability to go in and look and go a little further and find out, maybe the why behind it, and that might help you in your understanding. So I hope this video helps. Remember, stay current and stay safe. Take care, everybody.